Detroit Lions and the Baltimore Ravens. And with this game, we're sitting a cheap 3 right now in favor of the Ravens. 43 to 43.5 is your total. Guys, I just got back from being down in Arizona. One of the great things about being in Arizona is you can bet on your computer. You can have a sportsbook open. When a line pops up, you can utilize that line, and I actually got an expensive 3.5 on the Lions. So I got on the other side of a hook, paid some juice, but it only lasted about 90 seconds, and then it got bought back and then popped again a little bit later, but it didn't last long again, and then we haven't seen anything close to that. At the number 3 right now, Adam, it looks like we're probably heading to 2.5 on this thing. It looks as if the Lions money is finally starting to come in. I went with I would still play the 3. Let me just say this. I wouldn't need the hook. I just jumped on it because it was there. I would still play it at 3 with the Lions. When you dig into this game, one of the things that really has shocked me about this Lions team is just how good this defense has played. You go ahead and you start to whittle out the garbage time stuff. You start to whittle out the, factored for opponent and all that. And on its baseline, you have a top 10 defense in the NFL. Now, will that continue on for the rest of the season? I don't know, but I don't really care because I want to bet this week 7 game right now, and this Lions defense is playing very, very, very good. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of getting points with a Lions team that I don't feel I'm truly ever out of the game with. A backdoor's always open for how good they play on the offensive side of the ball as well.
I'm going to make it really simple from my end, and I'll leave the rest to you guys. Right now, if you're looking at a 3-point spread between Detroit and Baltimore, let's say you use 1 or 1.5 for your home field adjustment. Do you have a 1.5 or 2 points between these two teams on a neutral field? If you do, then good for you. I don't. Mm-hmm. I have these teams flat even on a neutral. And so if one team is favored by 3 and you have them rated together and you don't have a significant adjustment to make to either team for weather, for what? For quarterback? No. There's no significant injury adjustment. Yeah, there could be some wind, and that could be something that we factor in, but I think that's something you factor in more than the total than you do on the side. So I think the Lions are going to be able to run the ball no matter who is the running back. We know it's not going to be David Montgomery, but we know that Jahmyr Gibbs is trending toward being in, so we know that they at least have someone to run the football. And for Baltimore, if it's a home spot for Baltimore, it's a home spot coming off having the travel of London involved as well. So I think take whatever adjustment you would make for the weather if you think that the Lions need to be able to throw the ball. I don't. I think they can run too. And then even that adjustment out with Baltimore coming off a rough travel spot, in the end, take the points with the team that you think is better between the two that are rated right next to each other for me.
Yeah, Stephen, look, we talked about how we thought this Lions offense could be explosive in the heading into this season. What we didn't think was that this defense was going to be as good as they have been. We thought, hey, look, they played better towards the end of last season, so we thought, okay, maybe take a step forward. They go from being, let's call it 20th to maybe 17th, 16th. Maybe they're league average. I did not expect top 10. I don't know if it's going to last, but they're playing that way right now. They're defending pretty much at every level. And with that, this Ravens team has just not been able to figure it out once they get inside the 20s. Between the 20s, they've been all right, but they hadn't been able to get in the end zone. And I think the Lions are going to go ahead and continue to kind of frustrate them from that angle as well. I really do like this angle, getting the points with the team that, like I said, always can run down from the back door with how good they are on offense.
So early in the week, I teased this up to 8.5, thinking we weren't going to get the 3. I was pretty surprised that we got the 3, and it looks like we might wind up back at 2.5 near close anyway, based on what we're seeing here on Friday. And just to bully the 2 points that you guys made, Matt, I checked our power rankings. You and I agree. We both have Detroit rated higher than the Ravens on a neutral field this week. If you talk about the Lions defense and the fact that they are number 1 in the league in terms of defensive EPA and success rate, if you filter out 10% garbage time on both sides, I think that's a product of them being able to get pressure at a top 5 rate in the league while not blitzing all that much. And on the flip side, the Ravens have one of the worst pressure rates in the league. In fact, they have a pressure rate 9% lower than their blitz rate, which is a bad combination. Despite that, their EPA and success rate numbers are still pretty solid. So you usually don't see that. I think that's a direct reflection of the quarterbacks that they faced. And this is the best offense that they will face at this point. So I use the teaser leg, but I also use Detroit in a money line parlay. Every week I just like to throw in like a lunch money lottery ticket money line parlay. And I think the Lions are very live in this game to win.
Yeah, I also played them in a non-traditional teaser. It had already moved to 3 whenever I played it, and so I wanted to get somebody in there with the Seahawks, and so I took the Lions up to 9. So I do also have them in a teaser this week as well.